This video is brought to you by Letsynthesize Academy, the #1 place for practice-oriented courses for serious music producers.
Yo, Dan Larson here, welcome to the new Synthesize Academy episode, and today I want to talk about how to make Marauda like very aggressive and mean and evil basses like this. Like always, you can grab this whole project from my Patreon below with tons of others, and I make an awesome masterclass start to finish here on Tear Out Dubstep, but right now let's jump into it. Yo, so here is this little beat once again. Okay, so these cuts, these nuts, are from actual Marauda songs, so I'm not going to include it in the download that you can find on my Patreon. This one is the gun bass that I made in the Wall of Death tutorial. You can find it right there. The only thing I changed here is I applied this shifter. And also I went in the oscillator section, so the FM section of sampler, to FM the beginning of the sound. So it's a little more percussion now, and I also added this layer. So basically the transient. Without that, it's just not so cool. Anyway, let's jump to the mean bass, the angry bass. It's by the way a simple sound, but in the mix, I think it sounds so cool. Okay, so I have a sub, pretty straightforward, and the bass itself, as you can see, I don't have too much process. I have 2 OTTs, an EQ8 to boost the mids and the highs a little, and also make room for the separate sub, and the normal filter, because I wanted to make the ending of the bass a little duller, so it basically does not conflict with the other sounds, for example the snare or the hi-hats. Because let me show you, if I disable it, it's just so messy and noisy, I don't really like it, but with some filtering. Alright, so the bass itself is very simple. Of course, it took me a while to figure out every setting and finding the sweet spot. So I have this harmonics wavetable, so it's basically my own custom wavetable that looks like this. Basically, it's a combination of sine and sol waves, but I use the mirror warping mode. This is actually so cool because you can have multiple colors out from this sound simply by just tweaking the mirror. You can choose different warping mode. But it's basically just makes the job done. You can use different wavetables for different effects or different sounds. This can be interesting. I'm using 3 voices of unison and a bandpass filter. And that is always the first point to make a sound very evil and mid-low focused. And I'm using a sub-oscillator 2 octaves higher. It doesn't give too much, but it makes the sound a little more aggressive on the mid-lows. Okay, so this is it here. In the FX, I have some extra voices coming from the chorus, and the phaser is not doing too much. So, because we have very intense EQing in the mids, the phaser basically lost its job, lost its power against all these. So I guess we can just kill it. And the EQ is actually an important part here, because that is what creates the talky effect and the aggressive colors. Without that, you don't have that very growly kind of character. Especially as the high pass goes lower in frequency, you can really hear the difference. Anyway, I have distortion too. This creates a little more top end and an MG low. because you don't want to have a too harsh bass sound, because that part is for the hi-hats and every other percussive element. As you can see, it's not very complicated. You basically find a growly wavetable that already has some nice growly textures, and you EQ them using like the EQ and the high pass filter and the band pass filter and stuff like this. And basically that's it, but you definitely need to tweak it a lot to find all the sweet spot for different wavetables and for different effects. But as you can see here, some extra EQing was definitely needed, because without that, again, boosting the mid-highs a little, and the mids is around 1.6K, really brings up those frequencies that we need to make angry and mean, aggressive sound. Okay, so in the comments, please tell me what effects you use or what process you use to make your sound even angrier and more aggressive. Right, so don't forget to check my Patreon for this project and my 0 start to finish masterclass, because it is awesome, people love it. And I also have a dubstep bundle with 30% off, but see you guys next time. Peace!